Hello boys and girls, non-binary, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bureda. This is my first ever Final Fantasy XIV video guide. This is going to be a basic PvP guide. The aim of this video is to help you have fun in PvP, as well as give you the knowledge and know-how on how you can jump in on any job, understand its basic rotation, and have you performing above average. That's the goal, and hopefully I achieve it by the end of this video. Transition. Psych. This is a live recording and it's a one take because I actually can't edit, so bear with me. I know chat is bearing with me, so yeah. Let's begin, shall we? This is my character. He's a ninja right now. I love ninja. Ninja is my main. I ninja everything, okay? But yeah, let's begin for real. First of all, let's go to the bottom here. Click on character and then click on PvP profile, alright? Let's go to the job actions and scroll all the way down. I want you to drag Purify on your hotbar. And then I want you to drag Recuperate on your hotbar. And then I want you to drag Guard on your hotbar. And then I want you to drag Standard Issue Elixir on your hotbar. And then I want you to drag the PvP Sprint on your hotbar. Make sure you have the PvP Sprint on and not the PvE one. The PvE one expires after 30 seconds. And it can still be used in PvP areas, which is a bit confusing, I know. Whereas the PvP one, as you can see here, you can toggle it on and off. So obviously it's much more superior, because if you're in a situation where you need to run, you just toggle it on and you just run, alright? So those are the main core abilities you need to put in on your hotbar on any job ever. So before you do anything, make sure those abilities are on your hotbar. And just to help you understand, just to help you go over the basics, we're going to go through and read what they do, alright? So as you can see here, Purify removes stun, heavy, bind, silence, half sleep, sleep, and deep freeze, and also grants resilience upon successfully removing any of the aforementioned effects. And this lasts for 5 seconds. So essentially, what it's saying is once you remove a crowd control, you can't be CC'd for 5 seconds. That's pretty important. The other one is called Recuperate. So this is an ability with a 1 second cast, with an instant cast and a 1 second cooldown that heals you for 15,000 HP. Essentially, when you're dueling or you're fighting, you want to spam this. So this is what keeps you alive. So this comes off your mana here, your MP. So if I use it, my MP goes down. And eventually my MP slowly recovers. So you want to balance your healing between your MP. So you want to keep an eye out on the two. The next ability is Guard. So Guard here is has a 30-second cooldown and is used instantly. Like so. Guard reduces damage taken by 90% and grants you immunity to stuns, heavy, bind, silence, half sleep, sleep deep, freeze, and knockbacks and draw-ins, and it lasts for 5 seconds. So obviously you use this when you know a person is about to use a big hitting spell, or you're being focused in a group PvP situation. So this is very handy. Make sure you use this before you receive the damage because of the server tick rate. As you know, the server ticks in waves. So you want to use this before you receive any damage, otherwise most of the damage will probably go through and will have you raging. Trust me, we've been there. Alright, the next ability is the standard issue elixir. This is something you use when you're away from the enemies. It takes about 4.5 seconds to cast, and it heals your maximum HP and maximum MP. So when the enemy stops focusing you and you're low on resources, so let's say you have no mana and you've managed to run away by popping sprint, then you go behind a corner and you pop the standard issue elixir. As you can see here, it has a huge cast time. And then it restores your maximum HP and maximum MP. So basically this helps you reset a fight so you can go back in. So it's always better to go out, recover your resources, and then go back in. So that way you're more helpful in a fight. So that's very important. Don't expect to get that right straight away. It comes with practice. But it's going to become a very essential tool for you to use and abuse, let's be honest. Like everyone's doing that, let's be honest. And the final general ability is obviously, like I said, the PvP Sprint. As you can see, you toggle this on, you run away, you position yourself wherever you want, and then use your abilities. And as soon as you use an ability, the sprint disappears automatically. Or you can just toggle it on and then toggle it off by pressing it again. So that's the basics of the generalized skills you should be having on your hotbar on any job. Yep, make sure you have those, please. Trust me, it's going to make your PvP life so much easier. Believe me, you'd be surprised even in crystal rank, even in diamond rank, how many people actually don't have these skills on their hotbar. I know you're thinking, what? Believe me, my chat has seen them in person. Alright, so now we're going to focus on my ninja. So I'm going to run through my ninja and my process of how I understand my ninja's basic combos. And then hopefully you can understand that process and apply it to any job. Obviously in the future I'm going to be doing job specific guides, or mostly basic guides, to help you guys elevate yourselves in PvP. So that's definitely the aim. So if you do like that content, if you do like this video has helped you out, make sure you give it a like, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You know, we are new, much appreciated. Okay, let's begin on the ninja. Alright, so for ninja, once again we go to character, we go to PvP profile, and we go here to the job actions. This is our basic combo, so make sure this combo is dragged on your hotbar. So most of the jobs, right, they're going to have a few active skills, and then they're going to have a few passive skills. As you can see here on this hotbar, it says this action cannot be assigned to a hotbar because obviously it's a passive, it triggers off something else. But I'm not going to tell you which skills to drag and which you shouldn't drag. You know, you should be reading that and then doing that on your own. Well, I'm going to be going through that on the class specific jobs. But just to make it easier for the newbies here that want to get better at ninja, I'm going to go through the whole process of my ninja, and hopefully this can help you become a better ninja in PvP. Alright, so first things first, we want to drag our combo to our first ability here, right? Because this is our bread and butter. Yeah, well, it's not really our bread and butter, but for the purposes of keeping this video basic, let's say it's our bread and butter, right? The first ability, the second ability you want to put into your hotbar is your Fuma Shuriken. This is your ranged ability. It has 3 charges. The next is going to be the 3 Mudras. This is your bread and butter. Without this, you're not a ninja. You're nothing. So yeah, make sure Aeolian Edge combo is on your hotbar. Make sure Fuma Shuriken is on your hotbar. Make sure the 3 Mudras is on your hotbar. And then after that, make sure Mug is on your hotbar. And then Bunshin and Shikuchi. So make sure these abilities are all on your hotbar. And then obviously make sure your limit break, which is Seiton Tenchu, is also on your hotbar somewhere. Obviously my UI probably looks different from yours. If you like the way I've set up my UI, I can do a guide for it in the future, but this is how I have everything set up. So all my abilities now are on my hotbar, so we don't have to worry about these passives for now, right? But we'll keep the we'll close this for now and then get to the passives after, so you don't get confused. All right, so let's go through our abilities, right? This is our basic combo. This is what we use for melee when we have nothing else to do. And then we have here Fuma Shuriken. So as you can see here, it reads, it does a 6000 potency damage from range with 3 charges. The next ability is the 3 Mudras. Grant 3 Mudras, allowing you the execution of advanced ninjutsu. And it lasts for 10 seconds. It has 2 charges. After that we have Mug, which increases the damage we do to a person or a target for 10 seconds, and it has a potency of 2000. And then we have our buff here called Bunshin. This basically echoes any ability we use. So if we use an auto attack, you'll do double that attack. If you use a Fuma Shuriken, you'll do double Fuma Shuriken. It will not do double Mudras apart from the lightning one, which is Fleeting Raiju. Is it Fleeting Raiju? Yeah. Forked Raiju and Fleeting Raiju get duplicated by the Bunshin Mudra. By the Bunshin, but the spell Mudras do not. So any physical ability gets duplicated by the Mudra, but not the spells, basically. And then obviously our final ability is Shikuchi, which basically makes us teleport to a destination and gives us stealth for 5 seconds. Alright, so yeah, so let's go back to the PvP profile page. So when you look at this, when you look at any job PvP profile, you want to go through the abilities and see which combo abilities you can combo together without the initial combo. So if you go through our off global cooldown abilities here, we can see that we have Mug here, right? Mug increases the damage a target takes by 10% for 10 seconds. And then we also have Bunshin here, which doubles, which echoes any melee damage we do on a target, right? And also gives us a shield with the 8000 potency. So it's a very good buff. Alright, so now we want to understand the basics of combos. So let's close this page and then let's learn the Mudras. So this is your bread and butter, right? This is the Mudras. So if we activate a Mudra here, then we can perform one of our advanced ninja techniques. Here we're going to do the Fleeting Raiju into Fork Raiju. So we stun the target and we stun it again. That's one of our advanced offensive Mudras. The other one is going to be Hyosho Ranryu, which gives the target 16,000 potency damage. So that's one of our other offensive Mudras. The other one is a Fire AoE, which is called Goka Mekiaku, which it does 4,000 damage to the target, and then it does 4,000 damage every 2 seconds after that. Is it 2 seconds or 1 second? Let's read it. So, see, we're going through the process together, we're learning, right? So Goka Mekiaku, it does 4,000 damage for 12 seconds. So I think it ticks every 2 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a lot of damage basically. So it does around 20k damage unbuffed. And then the third is, oh my god, is the Doton, which is an AoE earth spell that slows anyone that enters it. So these are our offensive Mudras. We don't just have offensive Mudras as a ninja though, we also have defensive ones, right? So if we use the 3 Mudras, then we can activate Mei Sui, which basically gives us a heal over time. As you can see, we're healing over time. So it's very good if you're getting focused and you want to heal back up and you're out of mana. So make sure you always keep that in mind. And the other defensive is Huton, which basically gives you a shield of 16,000 potency. This is a huge shield. It also increases the movement speed. As you can see, we are running super fast with Huton on. So those are your 2 defensive Mudras, advanced Mudras. Obviously, as a ninja, you never want to use your defensive Mudras, otherwise you're basically making yourself ineffective. So you always, if you're in a position, you always want to use your Mudras offensively. Because without them, you literally do no damage. Believe me, your melee does no damage. You are a pseudo-ranged job, basically. So yeah, that's the Mudras. Hopefully you understood the basics of that. And now we're going to go back to our PvP profile page and then find out how we can combo our advanced Mudras to do maximum damage, right? So if you see here, we have an ability called Assassinate. It can only be executed under the effect of Hidden. And we know Shukuchi gives us Hidden when we dash. And now we know that Mug gives us a 10% damage to the target for 10 seconds. And also our Bunshin echoes any physical damage we do. And surprise, surprise, our Assassinate does is a physical. It's basically like a backstab to your throat. And then if we read here, if we read Bunshin here a bit more thoroughly, we can see here basically your shadows copy your spells, but the damage is halved for Fuma Shuriken, which is your long-range ability. So whenever you're echoing this ability, it's halved through Bunshin and you Assassinate. But because our Assassinate hits so hard, it basically is going to make it so, you know, it still hits, the second ability still hits for a lot. So now that I explained those abilities to you, we're going to combo them, right? So remember, we always want to preface everything we do with Mug. So here we're going to use Mug on the target. Then we're going to use Bunshin to get the double effect. Then we're going to use Shikuchi to get the assassinate. And then we're going to assassinate. And as you can see here, the assassinate buff, the Bunshin buff double the assassinate. And then if we use our melee, as you can see, it doubles the 100% of any melee damage you do, but it only doubles 50% of the Fuma Shuriken damage. As you can see, those two Fuma Shurikens there, one for 6,000, one for 3,000. Just to repeat the little fact on Bunshin, it cannot copy advanced spells, so you cannot copy Mudras spells. For basically Hyosho Ranryu, it will not copy it. As you can see, it only did it once, but it will copy the Raiju spells. So as you can see, it did it twice, so that's 8,000 and then another 8,000. That's 16,000 damage right there. See, so it copies any physical damage. So yeah, so you always want to preface everything with Mug, and then you always want to buff all your melee damage with the Bunshin. So that's your bread and butter, right? Always debuff someone with Mug wherever you can. If you're in a situation where you can't stealth, someone's focusing you, or you have damage over time, you just want to Mug someone, and then you want to throw a Hyosho Ranryu for the extra damage, as you can see, and then you want to do the double thing, double Raiju, not double thing. But as you can see, I didn't do it with Bunshin, so we lost a lot of damage. So we want to do that with Bunshin, so we'll do that again, but this time we want to make sure we do maximum damage, right? So let's say I can't stealth now, so I'm going to Mug, I'm going to Bunshin, I'm going to do a Hyosho, and then let's wait for the cooldown, and then as you can see here, it's going to double my Raijus. You see, double. So even though it acts as a CC spell, it also does a lot of burst damage. 16,000 damage is basically hits as hard as our hardest hitting ability, which is a Hyosho Ranryu. As you can see here, it does a potency of 16,000, which essentially is what we can do if we buff Bunshin and use it with the Raijus. So forked Raiju, fleeting Raiju. Once again, just so you guys can see it, we want to Mug someone, we want to Bunshin, then we want to Hyosho, and then we also want to do a double Raiju for the effect of the Bunshin. So that's if you can't stealth, so that if you're in a pinch. For the optimum combo, what you want to do is you want to be able to Mug someone and stealth and then do the whole combo. As you know, the Mug only lasts for 10 seconds. So we want to prioritize our hardest hitting abilities into that window. So our optimum build here is, because our Bunshin lasts the longest, we want to use Bunshin first, because that lasts for 30 seconds. Then we want to Mug, then we want to stealth, and then we want to assassinate for double proc. Then we want to Hyosho, then we want to do Raiju for the double proc. And if you were faster, like obviously I'm doing it slow so you guys can see, but if you are faster, you will be able to get all those into that damage window opportunity. So you will be doing a lot of burst. So that's the basics of the ninja combo. It's quite out of all the jobs, I think it's one of the longer combos. So once again, just to repeat that so you understand. So we do Bunshin, we Mug, then we stealth, then we assassinate, then we do Hyosho Ranryu, and then we do double Raiju, or all at burst. See, we had 2 seconds to spare, which means we could even flank an extra Raiju for the extra damage. So that's the basic ninja combo. I say it's basic, I mean it's pretty complicated, but you know, you need to master it so it becomes basic to you. This is the definitive bread and butter. You need to master this combination. Right, let's just do it one more time so you can understand. Alright, so Bunshin, Mug, stealth, assassinate, Mudra, Hyosho, Mudra, Raiju, and then throw in a Fuma there. Obviously we didn't get it in time, so we didn't get the extra damage, but it's still extra damage, right? So that's, as you can see, that's a lot of pressure there. That's a lot of pressure. And yeah, that's your combo. But there's even more advanced stuff we can do on Ninja. So if we go to our PvP profile and then we look at our Goka Mekiaku here, it says here, right, that it does 4,000 damage to the target and any target nearby, and it lasts for 12 seconds. So if we do basic maths here, that's basically going to end up doing more damage than any of the abilities we have. So it does even more damage than our supposed hardest hitting ability, which is the Hyosho Ranryu. So if we are focusing someone like a tank or a healer where we know they're going to get heals off, what we want to do is we want to Bunshin, Mug, Assassinate, and then we want to do a Goka Mekiaku, and then we want to do the double stun to basically stop them from healing or using defensives. Because this one does so much more damage, and it gets buffed for 10% extra damage. Even if our Mug wears off, it's still going to do that damage extra. So for example, let's say, let me just show you what I mean by that. Alright, so let's debuff this guy with Mug and then do the Goka Mekiaku. As you can see, it does 4,400, so that's the 10% extra, right? That's the 10% extra damage, 4,400. So the debuff is gone now, but this continues to do the extra 10% damage. Because any skill you use in a 10% extra window continues to do that damage after even when it expires. So debuffs in this game are not dynamic. Like once you use an ability into that window, it'll continue over. So even though that's kind of essentially an advanced technique, but not really, it's something you can do to help you increase your damage potential. So once again, if you're fighting a squishy person, you're on a Bunshin, Mug, Assassinate, Mudra, Hyosho, Mudra, Raijin. Alright, for squishy targets. And for anyone that's not squishy, for example, I think tanks are not squishy, right? Healers, not really, they look squishy but they're not, right? Because they can heal over time. Another job that's not squishy is Reaper and Monk. They're not squishy. So if you're fighting someone like a tank, a healer, a Reaper, or a Monk, then obviously you want to preface everything with Bunshin, then you want to Mug, Assassinate, and then you want to do Mekiaku, and then you want to do the double Raijus to basically CC them and stop them from healing. And this is going to continue doing that 10% extra damage. And then obviously when you drop the target low enough, below 50%, we can use our ultimate. But I'll explain that in a minute. So make sure you go to your PvP profile. Once again, go to jobs, scroll all the way down to your limit break, and drag your limit break on your hotbar, right? So let's read the ninja's limit break. It says here, it rushes to the target and delivers a potency of 10,000 damage, and it incapacitates a foe whose HP is below 50%. It also gives you Deathlink, which basically means you can use this ability again for 5 seconds. Is it 5 seconds? Yeah. So basically you can chain combo this ability. So once you've dropped a tank or a healer below 50% at 50%, you want to use your limit break. Like that. And then you can continue doing that to all the targets that are below 50% HP. So that's obviously the limit break is a very advanced thing to master and it'll take you a while, but this is very important to save for clearing objectives. So if you're playing Crystal Conflict, you want to save your LB for situations where you're trying to unlock the cage for the crystal to progress, right? So you want to use it so you can combo your killing ability on multiple low HP targets, so that way you can have the most impact. So if you see one person that's low HP, keep him low HP as bait, as a catalyst basically, and let him go back to his teammates. And then that way, once your team engages, you have someone you can initiate your limit break from. So you want to execute that person that's low HP and then possibly jump on the healer or the next important target. I think I'll go through PvP targets, important jobs that you need to focus in the future. But essentially, just to make it quick and brief here, you always want to focus the white mage or any healer. And then after that, you want to focus red mage, bard, or the front lines like monk and dragoon. That's that's what you need to focus, because they do the most damage. So a red mage will do the most damage, a dragoon will do the most damage, a monk will do the most damage. So you want to negate that by just pressuring them or taking them out, right? If they're not killing anyone on your team, then essentially you're winning, or you have a higher chance of winning. But yeah, that's the basics of ninja. So as you can see, what I do is I come to my I change to a job, and then I go to my PvP profile. I go through all my abilities, and I'm like, okay, so this ability debuffs someone. This ability echoes the damage I do, any physical damage I do. And then I look at my abilities, right? And then once I understand what debuffs I have, now I want to go and look at my most damaging spells. So now I know that I can debuff someone for 10% extra damage, and I can echo a physical damage. So now I want something that hits hard, that's melee. So our viable option here is Assassinate and Forked Raiju and Fleeting Raiju. Because if we read Bunshin, it halves the damage of our Fuma. So it basically, our Fuma is only doing 3000 extra damage, but it doesn't half the damage of our Fleeting Raiju. So our Raiju is doing full damage. So we're echoing the ability twice. And we're doing it twice, so that's 4 times. So yeah, so that's the process that I go through when I understand things. There's also another combo, right? So let's say you're in a situation where there's a lot of fighting happening on a crystal or on an objective, but you can't go in because as soon as you go in, you get targeted. That's where Doton basically is helpful. Like Doton sounds useless, right? But it's not. So if we read Doton here, it creates a corrupted earth under your feet, dealing damage with a potency of 2000 on enemy who enters, duration 10 seconds. It sounds weak and pathetic, right? Which it is by itself. But then we also have Hollow Nazuchi here, which basically, any damage you do whilst Doton is on someone, it echoes it, and it does 2000 more damage. So essentially 2000 damage becomes 4000 damage. And the way we can trigger that, we can do Hyoshoran Ryu or Gekko Mikyaku. But not just that, I think we can also trigger it with Fuma Shuriken, if I'm correct. Let's see, I should be correct, right? Alright, let's pop Doton down here. And then let's do a Fuma. See, as you can see, Fuma is triggering the Doton. So there's, I think the translation, or it's not in the hotkey, but yeah. So basically what we wanna do is we wanna put Doton down. Let me just reset, let me reset the 3 mudras and go through the rotation. So this rotation is for when you are being focused a lot and you can't stand on an objective. Ninja, people say is hard to kill, but you know, if you get locked down, you know, you can die pretty easily, especially if you're in a high combat zone. So what you can do is you can still harass and do damage from a distance by utilizing your Fuma Shuriken. So basically to do that, you want to pop sprint so you can position yourself quicker. Now we're moving faster, see, much faster. See, if I remove it, look how slow we are. So now we toggle sprint on. We buff our, once we're in position, we buff our Mudra and we put in Doton. So we put Doton down, then we run away, then we use our Fuma to trigger the Hollow Nazuchi passive like that. And we keep doing that, and then we don't even have to be on the zone. So if there's 2 tanks fighting there and a healer, we are helping our tank and our healer by just AoE damaging from a distance whilst single target focusing someone with our ranged abilities. And you can further enhance this combo. So let's say someone is causing a lot of trouble for you, what you can do is, once again, you position yourself by using sprint, then you mark that target that you want to focus on a lot, and then you put the Doton down, then you do the Goka Mekyaku, which increases the damage they receive, which does the damage over time plus the 10% extra damage they receive. As you can see, now we're doing crazy AoE damage, but the single person we're focusing is receiving a much more damage, because we've given him the 10% debuff and also the damage over time from the Mekyaku. So that's one way you can create a lot of AoE havoc whilst not being in a zone and also still targeting a single target person. Basically Goka Mekyaku, you should use 90% over Hyosho Ranryu, especially when you want to buff it with Mug. Excuse me. So once again, for the, let's say there's 2 tanks here. Let's say the enemy has 2 tanks, you only have 1 tank. Let's say one of the tanks is warrior, and warriors tend to be more squishy, right? So no point in using Bunshin. But if you're getting focused a lot, obviously you want to use Bunshin defensively to get that shield. So let's say the 2 tanks, there's a warrior and a paladin, and you only have a warrior on your team. They're fighting over the objective. So you want to target the warrior, you want to mark them, you want to put down the Doton, and then you want to burn him and the warrior and the paladin. Then you want to use Bunshin and then Fuma from a distance to proc the Hollow Kuzuchi for the extra damage. And that warrior is going to receive so much single target damage that, you know, he'll be forced to leave the objective, and you're not even there, you're not even receiving extra damage. And then obviously once the target is low HP enough, once you drop someone down, you always want to use your limit break to clear an objective. So, you know, let's say one of the tanks is low HP, boom, kill him. Obviously we can't kill dummies because it does not execute dummies, but it will execute a player that's 50% HP or below. So that's all the 3 combos, and hopefully that helps you a lot as a ninja. I'll be going through every job and their combos and their purposes in a fight in the future, and then how to fight with them, right? So for ninja, you just want to create as much damage and chaos as you can. You can't really, you're not really melee, and you're not really the strongest ranged. You're just a jack of all trades but a master of none, literally. So once again, if I go through all the combos, you always want to preface everything that's single target related with Bunshin. Then you want to Mug to increase the damage rate received. Then you want to Stealth, Assassinate. Then you want to Raiju for the double proc of Bunshin. Then you want to Hyosho Renryu if the target is squishy. So that's the combo if the target is squishy. So Bunshin into Mug, into Assassinate, into Hyosho, and into Raiju. Let me reset this. So just ignore this part of what I'm doing right now. I'm just resetting the combo because you can only use one Mudra, and then you have to rotate the Mudra. So you can't use the same Mudra over and over again. Otherwise, what's stopping you from using Goka Mekyaku every few seconds, right? So let's do the whole rotation for a squishy single target. So we preface everything with Bunshin, then Mug, then Assassinate, and then we want to do Hyosho, and then into a double Raiju that gets buffed by a Bunshin. So that's a lot of damage. Then obviously we want to throw in a Fuma just for fun. That's for squishy targets. So any squishy targets, you always want to burst them. You always want to apply pressure to them. And then the next combo is going to be for targets that's beefy, like warriors, like tanks, like reapers, like monks, like healers. Healers are deceptively beefy, trust me. So for beefy targets, once again, you want to preface everything with Bunshin. Then you want to Mug. Then you want to do Goka Mekyaku, and then a double Raiju to stop them from using defensives or healing. And then you'll want to throw a Fuma for fun. You always want to throw them a Fuma as a kiss of love, you know. So that's the combo for beefy targets. That's your most damaging combo, basically. The combo I showed you, that's the highest damage potential combo that you have in the game. And then obviously the combo you want to use when an area is contested but you can't go in because you'll get focused and killed, or you're saving your limit break to clear the area, is you want to use Bunshin to get the defensive shield. So you want to mug one of the targets, you want to use Doton, and then you just want to use Goka Mekyaku on a target for the extra damage. Then you just want to spam Fuma as much as you can and proc as many hollowed Hozuchis as you can. So that's the 3 rotations. Hopefully this video has helped you. The next video is probably going to be Paladin, and after that maybe Summoner, I think, or one of the healers. We'll see, so we can cover every role. Yeah, this is Bureda. Thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for popping in my channel. I hope this video has helped you, especially if you're a ninja. It should definitely elevate your ninja gameplay to a whole new standard, trust me. Yeah, you'll find me on Light, so poke me if you're in game. Just send me a whisper if this guide has helped you. If you're in the arena, make sure you if you want to do some duels with me and get some extra training, just hit me up anytime. I've been training a lot of people. That's why I'm making these videos, and hopefully we can increase the overall level of the player base for PvP, because the new PvP mode for this game is amazing. You know, like chef's kiss. They've created something amazing. It's just we just need to help the players get better at PvP and understand PvP, so they can have more fun and they can understand how the jobs actually work. Alright, there's a big heart to all of you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share my videos, and yeah, pop by for a future video. Like I said, the future video is probably going to be Paladin for the next one. Alright, see you later, YouTubers. Make sure you join me on Twitch/Bureda, twitch.tv/Bureda. Follow me on Twitter, Bureda Godhand, and join my Discord community. We would love to have you there. Alright. Peace, bless you, and big up. See you later.